welcome back. You are with us, and we have a couple of more corporate conversations lined up. Let's straight
Okay, I'll just, Surbhi, will rectify your audio. It's giving us some problem. Coming back to you in just a minute. Yeah, we were talking about Kaveri Seeds, and it was a good quarter from them. Well, the rain gods have been kind, early sowing of cotton, maize and rice, we were told. Let's invite Mithun Chand, Executive Director, Kaveri Seeds. Good morning, Mithun. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. We haven't had too many companies telling us that our revenues grew 15% and our EBITDA grew 22%. It's always good to hear that. But how's this quarter and what can you guide for the year before I come to other issues?
Morning, Lata. We had a very good year this year. In fact, we had a back-to-back good monsoons. Last year, we had a very good monsoon and followed by this year as well. If you see across India, most of the areas have come up and the season is a bit early this year. In spite of these COVID conditions, the government relaxing the agri sector and making it as an essential commodity, there was a lot of issues and challenges in the operational front. For example, in terms of the transportation, inward transportation of these seeds, or rightly placing of the seeds across distributors, because we have got one of the largest network across India. We deal with more than 40,000 distributors across India. But even in these tough conditions, we were able to manage a very good season because we invested a lot in terms of the infrastructure and strategically investing more in terms of processing plants, warehouses across India, which in turn helped us to transport our seeds in time. And the newly constructed seed conditioning plants and the testing labs, which have helped us to fast-track the entire process and maintain the quality and improve the quality of the seeds and timely supply of the seeds to the market before the season has helped us really do well.
Okay, Mithun, that's good to hear, and we'll, I'm sure Surbhi has more questions on that. But I wanted to know about this, okra Kaveri vegetables becoming a very prominent player. Are you looking at some export market? Is there any policy help that you have got or are expecting in terms of food exports or something on those lines?
Definitely. If you see our policy as such, from this, we are serving Indian farmer for last 4 decades. One of our strategy was to include most of the crops in our portfolio, because India is a vast country and every year the cropping pattern shifts happen. So we have added many crops recently in the last 7-10 years. Recently, in the sense like 10 years, we are investing heavily in vegetable segment, and vegetable is picking up now. And in fact, if you see the growth in vegetables is more than 50-60% year on year. And as a seed company, as a Kaveri seed company, we are in line with the government views of saying that Atmanirbhar Bharat or Voice for Local. And
Is there any policy change that has helped you?
Yeah, see, we are, as a policy, we are a self-reliant company, and we do all our research here, and we are providing seeds for all segments, and definitely we are also doing export. Not only we are catering Indian farmer, we are also trying to export seeds to other countries, not only vegetables, but all other segments.
Okay, Mr. Chand, by the way, Kaveri Seeds has had a dream run. It should pull up a 1 year on the stock as well. It's almost at a 52-week high. I have a question now on the balance sheet, because I believe that you do have cash, about 500 crores of cash on the balance sheet. So what is the utilization plan? Is it going to be reinvested in the business? Could you look at a buyback? Will promoters participate in the buyback? What do you do with the cash? And in case you have any debt, any commitments that you need to repay immediately?
So we are a debt-free company, and if you see our track record for the last 3 or 4 years, we have done back-to-back 3 buybacks. And as a Kaveri, as a policy, we always rewarded shareholders, and in fact, we have distributed more than 700 crores of cash in the last 3 years. And going forward, also our intention is same, and we tend to do the same policy as what we are following earlier.
So that means the buyback is coming.
Definitely, we will look into that, again subject to the board decision. But if you see our previous track record, we were rewarding shareholders, and that's where we think we'll follow it.
So you remain a 20% EBITDA company, CAGR?
And if you see the margins, we operated one of the highest margins in the industry.
40%.
and year on year we are increasing our margins. We are trying new techniques, and we are introducing more techniques in terms of the technology, in terms of the processing plants, operational efficiency. So we are trying to decrease our cost of goods and improve our efficiency. We tend to follow the same trend as increasing our margin going forward. And as a leader, we always want to be do a bit to the Indian farmer, serving Indian farmer, and for the prosperity of it.
Got that. Making money on other people's prosperity. Thank you very much indeed, Mithun Chand, for joining us. Kaveri Seeds, Surabhi was asking for a 1 year of the chart, if we can replay that. Even in the last 3 months, it's a 66% rally that the stock has seen, and 1 year as well, the chart will come up for you. Well, with that, let's shift to the next company on our radar. The rights issue of MMFSL has been subscribed to nearly 1.3 times, we understand. The issue saw good demand for over 4,000 crore worth of shares against the offer size of about a little over 3,000 crores. Ramesh Iyer, Vice Chairman and Managing Director at MMFSL, joins in. Good morning, Ramesh. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. So what's the plan now that the money is in the bag?
So I think even before we raised the money, I had said this. We do see that rural buoyancy returning. Definitely, my belief is 3 years at least from 2021, you would see a lot of activity around the rural markets. The government focus is in the rural market. And with a good support from the monsoon, the farm cash flows are holding up. So put the two together, the infra cash flow and the farm cash flow, I think rural should see a lot of buoyancy. And we just ready for taking advantage of that emerging opportunity.
What have been your collections in the last 6 weeks? What percentage of accrual has actually been collected?
So actually, July was very good. It was even better than June. So we saw close to 90% plus collection in the month of July.
Okay.
So clearly we see that the farm cash flow has done pretty well in most of the geography. And typically in rural, what happens is if the monsoon is average plus, then they possibly start using the money that they have stored.
Okay.
Because they know the next season they're going to get back. So that's what is driving the whole cash flow at this stage.
Mr. Iyer, right now, do you have some estimates of how much of the loans you may need to restructure? I know the details are still being worked out, but any sense given your morat position?
I think our view is, at least as the circulars currently, which is the personal segment vehicles is what is allowed to be restructured. I think our view would be we may not restructure.
Okay. Not
because
anything.
Most of our customers are earn and pay customers. So if we think that the cash flows are holding up, we would try and not generally announce a restructuring. Yes, maybe the taxi aggregator, if the rules get announced, and if they were to come forward, or a truck operator wants some kind of time, maybe we will look at it. But I think as moratorium was generally announced for everybody, I don't think it's going to be the approach when it comes to restructuring. It will be clearly very specific, pick and choose customers based on why are they asking for it, what's the underlying pressure,
All right.
and that decide what kind of restructuring.
So let me ask you this, absolutely. That's why we need to wait for the final rules to come out on individual borrower categories. But is there any sense on how might you look at slippages going forward, or in general how credit costs will move? Just asking for some more color on where we stand vis-a-vis the moratorium position and how much could really go bad.
So as I said, July saw phenomenally 90%. Good collection. June had a good collection. So when we started, I've said this before, we had about 75% plus customers taking moratorium. And we've seen more than 50% of them actually repaying.
Okay.
And then rural gets into a good season post-October. So even you see some kind of forward flow in September, I would think between October and March, you'd see substantial correction because the second harvest is also expected to be good.
Okay. What's your tier 1 now after the rights issue?
Be close to 20% plus.
Oh. Are you therefore better able to raise money, Ramesh, if you were to raise debt capital today? Not that you need too much, but will that be even lower now?
I would think so. I mean, every lender would look for companies which are
well capitalized.
Appropriate capitalized, yeah. And they would actually look for, there are no solvency issue around any of these balance sheets. And even the rating would look at, the rating agencies would look at how well capitalized you are. So I would think that should put us in an advantageous position when it comes to ability to raise funds. But large companies have not found it difficult to raise money even during this period.
Okay. No, the reason why I'm asking you is, therefore, should we expect better margins in the remaining 3 quarters?
I would think so for 2 reasons. One is, of course, we are seeing the rates coming down. But more importantly, some of our past liabilities are maturing. And when we raise fresh money, they would definitely come in at a new rate, which is a lower rate.
Okay.
So surely we would see net interest margins improvement happening because of the borrowing costs coming down. But there is one little catch there, which is, all of us borrowed little more than required in order to be able to meet all maturing liabilities, not knowing how things are moving ahead.
Yes.
So there will be some holding cost pressure that we would face.
Oh, absolutely.
But net, there will be some improvement.
Fair point. Any internal growth, loan growth target?
These are times where you think not to lose market share and get maximum whatever you can. The volumes are low. The volumes are low. The OEMs are not able to make vehicles and tractors available. So unless the volumes pick up, we may put any target. I think we will fall short of that because of the overall numbers out there not being made available. I think the demand is pretty good in rural. The footfall at dealership is very exciting. But I think if they fix the production problem, I think the demand should be much, much better.
Oh, yes. Actually, Ashok Leyland gave us a very positive guidance for commercial vehicles. So maybe the financiers also will do well. Thank you very much, Ramesh Iyer, for joining us. And many congratulations for a successful rights issue. That's the word from an important NBFC. We are going to take a break on that note and discuss money issues, the inflation number and what it has done to rate cut expectations, what it will do to the bond and the currency market. In a minute, we're going to be joined by the head of Global Markets Group at ICICI Bank, B. Prasanna.